What is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here. We are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Thursday, February 2nd slate of NBA action. I'm super excited to dive into it. We actually do have a pretty decent slate of NBA going as of tonight. We do have 7 games on the slate, so I'm not entirely sure. I've been looking at some of the lines, and these lines seem extremely sharp. I did go ahead and find a couple spots that I did want to target, but regardless, it makes me a little bit nervous. I can't lie to you guys. I don't want to force too much, so I do have currently 3 plays, and then I am looking to add a player prop. I'm just waiting on a couple lines. Before we go ahead and dive into a quick recap, I did just want to go ahead and say we are still currently on the road to 12,000 subscribers. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys do like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Next, I just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everybody that ended up joining yesterday, and thank you guys so much for giving so much support to such a small channel. It truly does mean the absolute world to me, so much more than you guys will ever know. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into a quick recap as of yesterday.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
We had an awful day, and there's no hiding that. There's no denying it. We ended up having the Grizzlies minus 5.5 versus the Blazers at minus 110. The Grizzlies, they're the only leg in the ladder that we ended up losing as of yesterday. I already put a short out about it, but regardless, I mean, they had multiple double-digit leads, multiple double-digit leads. They ended up blowing those. Then Yusuf Nurkic, he ends up getting injured in the first 2 minutes of the game. So they're without their starting center. Then Jeremy Grant ends up getting injured in that game with a concussion. So he's out of this game after only 19 minutes of game time. So they're missing 2 of their starters, and Desmond Bane ends up playing in this game. So the one player that was listed as questionable for them ends up playing. So you're talking about pretty much a fully healthy Grizzlies team, besides for Steven Adams, versus a Blazers team that's down 2 starters, and the Grizzlies were up by multiple double-digit leads, ends up blowing it, and actually lost outright by 10 points. All we needed to do was to keep them within 2. Like, that was a really tough day. Grizzlies ended up losing that one pretty bad. Then we had the Warriors and the Timberwolves over 239.5 at minus 110. Both these teams came out red hot. Both these teams were way on pace to hit the over, like extremely on pace to hit the over. I'll go ahead and flash something up here, but they were extremely on pace to hit the over. And then in the third and fourth quarter, oh my Lord, both teams just completely stopped scoring the basketball. And I know part of it was good defense, part of it was just the fact that they just could not throw the ball into the ocean. So, we ended up losing that one. The game ended up going into overtime, finishes right at like 2:33, I believe. So it was close, but ended up losing that one. Then we had Trey Jones over 12.5 points versus Sacramento. He gets injured. I mean, there's nothing more or less that we can do about that. He wasn't having a phenomenal game anyway, so who knows if we would have hit it anyway, but we'll never know because he ended up getting injured. So we ended up going 0-3 on our plays. We had our heavy lean Rockets plus 5.5. They ended up winning, so I guess I just ended up picking the wrong game. So, it is what it is. We ended up going 0-3, but we're bouncing back today. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's picks. So for our first official play of the day, we are taking the Denver Nuggets minus 10.5 here versus the Warriors at minus 110. Yeah, you heard me right. Denver Nuggets are 10.5 point favorites versus the Golden State Warriors, and I'm crazy enough to take it. I know, call me crazy. This line is high, but wow, this line is high for a reason. The Golden State Warriors are coming off of a game which they did just have in Minnesota, and it is on the second leg of a back-to-back. I think that this line opened up because they know that a lot of the starters for Golden State on the second leg of a back-to-back, normally they do end up resting. In Denver, not to mention, they are 16-10-1 against the spread at home this year. They're a very solid home team. Golden State Warriors, on the other hand, they're not a very good road team. You definitely don't want to take them when they are traveling just in general. Golden State Warriors are 8-16 on the road this year against the spread. Definitely not a spot that you want to target. Golden State Warriors also has a road underdog this year, 2-11 against the spread. So anytime that they are not favored and they're on the road, go ahead and hammer that because you never really know. Denver is also 7-4 on spreads that are 10 or more. So double-digit spreads for the Nuggets are really no problem. They've had a pretty good chance of hitting overall, and I think that they get it done today. The Denver Nuggets look like they're going to be pretty much healthy for this game, and the Golden State Warriors, I just think there's no reason that they would set it at 10.5 if they didn't know that people were going to be sitting. So I really do like this one. Denver has also covered in 2 of their last 3 games, and they've been against very solid opponents. They've been against the Pelicans. They ended up covering versus Milwaukee as well, and their one cover that they didn't have was against the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was the game that, Joel Embiid had a absolutely historic night. But regardless, I think that the Nuggets do get it done here. I think that the Golden State Warriors are going to be having a much different lineup out there, so I do think the Nuggets can win by 15 plus. So I think this is a pretty good spot to target here for our first official play of the day. Denver Nuggets minus 10.5 here versus the Warriors at minus 110 odds. Now for our second official play of the day, we are going to be taking the Heat and the Knicks. We're taking the over 213 at minus 110. Now I ended up taking the Heat and the Cavs under 210 not too long ago because I said that this line's low, but it's low for a reason. I think that this is a situation where we take an over because the Knicks, they are 15-11 to the over at home, so they are more profitable than not at home. And a lot of people like to show up at Madison Square Garden. It's just the way that it is. A lot of players play super well at Madison Square Garden, and the Knicks, they do actually average more points per game at home this year, and they have averaged 119.3 points per game in their last 3 games. So they've been a very good scoring team here, and if they can do anything close to that number, I think the soar's over. So I do think it's a pretty good spot. The Heat do also allow more points per game on the road, so they're at worse defense on the road, and they have gone over in these last 2 matchups between these 2 teams. So I mean, the history is there as well. So I think that there is a little bit of value here for this one, so we're going to be riding with it for our second official play of the day. Heat and the Knicks over 213 at minus 110 odds. Now for our third and final play of the day, we are going to be taking the Pacers +1 here versus the Lakers at minus 110 odds. Now, we took the Lakers last game plus 2.5 versus the Knicks, and they ended up cashing for us. They ended up winning by like 6, I believe it was. But this line is kind of telling me that I know that Tyrese Haliburton is going to be back and more than likely have some issues due to his injury, but I do think that this is a spot that the Pacers end up getting it done because regardless, I mean, the Lakers should be favored by a little bit more. The Lakers have been really solid here recently, and I just think that this is a spot the Pacers get it done. The Lakers are also 12-14 against the spread on the road this year. Indiana's a pretty good home team, 16-10 against the spread at home, 11-6 as a home underdog. So you're talking about a team that anytime that they are an underdog at home, you do want to take them. They have been pretty profitable. And last game versus the Lakers earlier in the season, when the whole Lakers roster was healthy, the Pacers ended up playing them and they still won that game. So I think that they can do it once again. And in their last 11 games with Tyrese Haliburton in the lineup, they have won 8 of them. And they were against pretty good teams too. They were against Portland, Toronto, Clippers, Cleveland, Atlanta, Miami, and Boston. Those are some really solid teams. So this Pacers team with Tyrese Haliburton is a spot that you just want to take. The Pacers have been looking really good with Tyrese Haliburton, and I know that it's his first game back from injury. He might not be the guy, but I do think he is a very good playmaker. He's going to be able to get his teammates involved, and he would not be playing in this game if he wasn't okay. So I do think that the Pacers can go ahead and get it done here. I think this is a really good spot, especially versus a Lakers team that is, they're starting to get things back in motion again, but you truly never know who's going to sit with LeBron and Anthony Davis. So I really do like this spot here for our third and final play of the day. Pacers +1 here versus the Lakers at minus 110 odds. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. We are still currently on the road to 12,000 subscribers, so make sure that if you guys are new to the channel, make sure that you guys are subbed. But that's going to do it for me. This is King Center signing out. Peace.